warp planks, warp stairs, 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 warp stair, warp stair, warp stairs, warp stair, warp stairs, warp stairs, warp stairs, warp stairs, warp stair, warp stairs, warp stairs, warp stairs, cobbled deep slate, warp stairs, strip pale oak, cobbled deep slate, pale, strip, warp planks, cobbled deep, warp planks, strip, warp planks, pale oak plank, warp stair, warp slab, warp stairs, cobbled deep slate, warp planks, cobbled deep slate, warp plank, warp stair, warp stairs, warp planks, warp stairs, warp planks, warp plank, warp stairs, warp cobbled, warp plank, cobbled deep, warp planks, warp planks, pale, warp planks, warp planks, cobbled deep slate, warp plank, cobbled deep, warp plank, warp stair, warp stair, warp plank, warp stairs, warp stairs, warp stair, warp plank, warp stairs, warp planks, warp plank, warp planks, warp stairs, warp plank, warp stairs, warp stairs, warp cobbled, warp slab, cobbled deep slate, warp slab, cobbled, warp slab, cobbled deep slate, warp slab, cobbled, warp slab, warp stairs, warp cobbled, warp slab, warp slab, pale oak planks, warp slab, warp slab, cobbled deep slate, cobbled, warp slab, warp planks, warp planks, warp stairs, warp slab, warp planks, warp slab, warp slab, warp slab, warp slab, pale oak planks, warp slab, 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 white carpet, black crafting table, warp slab, warp slab, warp slab, warp slab, warp stairs, warp slab, warp stairs, warp slab, warp slab, warp slab, warp slab, cobbled deep slate, pale oak, warp plank, pale warp strip, pale oak strip, warp planks, pale oak planks, warp plank, pale warp plank, pale oak warp plank, strip warp, pale oak planks, warp planks, warp planks, warp strip, pale warp strip, pale oak warp planks, warp planks, pale oak warp planks, pale oak warp planks, pale oak planks, warp planks, warp slab, cobble warp slab, warp slab, warp planks, warp slab, warp slab, warp slab, warp plank, warp slab, warp plank, warp slab, warp planks, warp slab, warp slab, warp slab, strip warp slab, warp planks, warp slab, pale warp slab, warp slab, warp slab, strip pale oak warp slab, warp slab, strip pale warp slab, cobble warp planks, pale oak plank, cobbled warp slab, warp plank, warp planks, warp stairs, warp planks, warp planks, warp plank, cobbled deep slate, warp stairs, cobbled pale oak warp planks, warp planks, warp planks, pale oak planks, warp planks, cobbled warp stair, cobbled warp stairs, 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 warp planks, warp plank, warp planks, warp stairs, warp stair, warp stairs, 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 warp stairs. Strip pale oak, red heart, spider, pale oak planks. Grass block. Short grass. Rot, strip, pale oak, warp stairs. Strip pale oak, warp planks. Warp stairs. 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 Cobbled warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Cobbled deep slate. Warp planks. Warp slab. Warp stairs. Cobbled deep slate. Warp planks. Warp slab. Cobbled deep warp slab. Cobbled deep slate. Warp stairs. Cobbled deep slate. Warp stairs. Cobbled deep slate. Warp planks. Warp planks. Pale oak warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Cobbled deep slate. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Cobbled deep warp stairs. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Cobbled deep slate. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp planks. Cobbled deep slate. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Warp plank. Warp stairs. Warp stair. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp stair. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp slab. Warp stairs. Warp slab. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Crafting table. Warp stairs. warp plank, warp stair, warp plank, warp stairs, warp stairs. Warp planks, warp slab. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Warp slab. Cobbled deep slate. Warp slab. Cobbled deep slate. Warp planks. Warp plank, cobbled warp plank, cobbled warp planks, cobbled warp planks, cobbled warp planks, cobbled warp plank, cobbled deep slate, cobbled warp planks, warp planks, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, cobbled warp planks. Cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep cobbled deep cobbled warp planks. Cobbled deep slate, warp planks. Cobbled deep slate, warp planks. Cobbled deep slate, warp planks, warp planks, warp planks. Cobbled deep slate. Warp planks. Cobbled deep slate. Warp slab. Cobbled warp slab. Warp slab. Warp planks. Warp slab. Warp slab. Warp plank. Warp slab. Warp slab. Warps, cobbled, warp slab, warp slab, warp slab, cobbled, warp slab, cobbled, warp planks, warp stairs, warp planks, warp stairs, warp planks, warp planks, warp stairs, warp stairs, warp planks, warp stairs, warp stairs, warp planks, warp planks, warp, cobbled, warp stairs, warp stairs, warp stairs, warp planks, warp stairs, warp stairs, warp stairs, warp stairs, warp planks, warp plank, cobbled, warp stairs, cobbled, warp stairs, Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp cobbled deep slate. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp slab. Warp planks. Warp planks. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Warp slab. Warp slab. Warp plank. Warp plank. Warp slab. Warp slab. Cobbled deep slate. Warp slab. Warp slab. Warp planks. Warp plank. Warp planks. Warp planks. Warp slab. Warp slab. Warp plank. Warp plank. Warp slab. Cobbled deep slab. Warp slab. Warp planks. Cobbled deep. Warp planks. Cobbled deep slate. Warp planks. Warp planks. Warp planks. Cobbled. Warp slab. Warp slab. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Cobbled deep slate. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Warp slab. Warp planks. Warp slab. Warp stairs. Warp slab. Warp stairs. Warp slab. Warp slab. Cobbled deep slate. Warp slab. Warp planks. Crafting table. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp stair. Cobbled. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp planks. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Warp stair. Warp stairs. 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 Warp planks. Cobbled. Warp plank. Warp stairs. Warp slab. Warps. Cobbled deep. Warp slab. Warp slab. Warp stairs. Warp slab. Warp stairs. Warp stairs. Crafting table. Cobbled deep slate. Warp slab. Warp stairs. Warp slab. Crafting table. Warp slab. Warp planks. Warp slab. Warp slab. short grass, short grass. Crafting table, crafting table. Blackstone stairs, shulk, beacon, block, cake, block of Blackstone stairs. Grass block, short grass. Pale oak plank, stripped pale oak log. Pale oak planks. Pale oak planks, pale oak, strip, pale oak, strip, pale oak planks. Grass, dirt, strip, pale oak log, pale oak planks. Strip, pale oak log. Grass block, dirt. Warp door. Warp dirt. Warp trap, dirt. Grass, dirt, warp trap door. Grass block. Dirt, grass, warp door, grass, 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 warp trap door. Pale oak, strip, grass block. Pale oak, warp, grass block, warp door. Warp trap door. Grass block. Shulker box. Grass block. Short grass. Pale oak plank, strip pale oak log. Warp trap door. Grass block. Warp trap door. Grass, warp trap door. Warp door. Warp door. Warp trap door. Grass block. Trip wire hook, stripped, spruce door, stone cutter. Cake. Grass block. Tall grass. Short grass. Short grass. Grass block. Pale oak planks. Strip pale oak log, pale oak strip pale oak planks. Warp trapdoor, pale oak plank, chiseled deep slate, pale strip, chiseled deep, pale oak, chiseled deep slate. Pale oak planks. Strip, pale oak, deep slate bricks, pale, deep slate bricks. Deep slate bricks. Chiseled deep slate. Deep, pale oak, warp, deep slate bricks. Chiseled deep slate. Deep slate, chiseled, deep slate, chiseled, deep slate tile, chiseled, deep slate tile stairs, chiseled, deep slate tile stairs. Deep slate, chiseled, warped, chiseled, deep slate brick, deep slate tile stairs. Chiseled deep slate. Chiseled, deep slate tile stairs. Deep slate tile, pale oak, chiseled deep slate brick, chiseled deep slate. Grass block, strip, chiseled, polished, grass, pale oak, strip, polished, grass block. Polished deeps, chiseled, polished deeps, strip, grass block. Warp door, polished deep slate, tall grass. Polished deep slate wall. Short grass. Grass block. Deep slate bricks. Deep slate tile, grass, deep slate bricks, grass block. Tall grass. Short grass. Tall grass. Short grass, grass block. Short grass. Stone cutter, smoke, spruce, stone cutter. Smoker. Spruce, glass pane. Glass pane. glass pane. Spruce planks, anvil, red heart, anvil, glass pane. Spruce, glass pane. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Short grass. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Grass, cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Grass block. Cobbled deep slate. 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 Warped, cobbled deep slate. 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 Warp stairs. Cobbled deep slate. 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 Cobbled chiseled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate brick. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate tile. Cobbled deep slate dirt. Cobbled deep chiseled. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled chiseled. Cobbled deep slate brick. Cobbled deep slate. Deep slate tile. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Chiseled. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Chiseled. Cobbled deep slate. Chiseled. Cobbled deep slate. 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 Deep slate tiles. Deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Chiseled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Deep slate tile. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Chiseled. Cobbled deep chiseled. Cobbled deep slate bricks. Deep slate. Chiseled. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Chiseled. Cobbled deep slate. 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 Cobbled chiseled. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Chiseled. Cobbled chiseled. Cobbled deep cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled grass. Cobbled deep slate bricks. Deep slate brick. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate bricks. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate tiles. Cobbled chiseled. Cobbled deep slate. Chiseled. Cobbled warps. Cobbled chiseled. Cobbled chiseled. Cobbled deep slate. Chiseled. Cobbled pale oak strip. Cobbled strip. Cobbled deep slate. Chiseled. Cobbled deep slate. cobbled, deep slate, cobbled, chiseled, cobbled, deep slate bricks. Grass block. Deep slate, cobbled, deep slate, cobbled, deep slate, cobbled, deep slate, deep slate, cobbled, deep slate, cobbled, deep slate, chiseled, cobbled, deep slate. Deep slate tiles, cobbled, chiseled, cobbled, deep slate, cobbled, deep slate tile, cobbled, warped, cobbled, chiseled, cobbled, deep slate. Spruce planks, glass, grinds, spruce, cobblestone stairs. Spruce, armor stand. Armor stand. Armor, 7. Chocolate boots. Chocolate trousers. Chocolate tunic. Chocolate cap. Anvil. Chiseled deep slate bricks. Deep slate tiles, deep slate tile stairs. Deep slate tile stairs. Polished deep slate wall. Polished, pale oak, strip, warped grass block, strip, warped, grass block. calcite. Oak orange bed. Glass. Glass. Spruce oak log. Moth spruce fernet block spruce oak log spruce hanging sign. Allium. Lilac. Vine, birch, chest, strip, birch log, barrel, chest, anvil, cherry underscore tooth, birch planks. Birch, stone, stone, dire, stone, block of quartz. Block of quartz, rail. Rail. Power, block of quartz, minecart, quartz stairs. Pearl scent frog light. Deep crimson, powered, rail, deep slate. Block of quartz, block, powered, rail, pearls, powered, block of, pearls, sands, powered rail. Sand, pearl scent frog light. Sandstone. Quartz stairs. Stone, pearl scent frog light. Stone, stone. Dirt. Chet, barrel, strip, cherry underscore 234. Health, 20. Armor, 19. Spruce stairs. Strip, birch log, barrel, birch, strip, orange, tall lilac, grass block. Oak, cherry, chest, hopper, chest, grass block. Spruce stair, birch, furnace. Grass block. Short grass. Grass block. Short grass. Grass block, flower, azure blue, grass, strip, birch, cobble, enchanting, birch, brewing, birch planks. Barrel. Barrel. Chest. Chest, birch, enchanting, loom. Birch, chest, stone cutter. Barrel. Birch planks. Barrel, white, glass, barrel. chest. Dirt path, grass, lilac, grass block, short, grass block. Short grass. Oak leaves, birch, loom, chest. Shulk, barrel. Shulk, birch, enchanting, birch, barrel. Pink shulker bach, birch fence. Glass pane. Stone, gravel, stone. Dirt, cobbles, glass pane. Strip birch log. Shulker box. Cherry_234. Health, 20. Armor, 19. Basalt. basalt, 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 blackstone, basalt, basalt, blackstone, basalt, blackstone, basalt, 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 blackstone, basalt, 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 bedrock, basalt, 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 cobblestone, birch plank, enchanting, enchant, cobblestone, grass block, campfire, grass block, chest, in cobbles, glass pane, spruce, birch, enchant, birch planks, cobblestone, anvil, barrel, chest, stonecutter, strip, cherry, birch, shulker, birch, cherry underscore 234, health, 20, armor, 19, birch planks, cherry underscore 234, health, 20, armor, 19. barrel. Birch, shulker box. Birch planks. Cherry underscore 234. Hell, birch planks. Cherry underscore birch planks. Enchant, smithy, enchant, birch, cherry underscore 234. Barrel. Damaged anvil. Dirt path. Stone. Item frame. Item frame, item frame. Nether star. Item frame. Cobblestone. Oak trapdoor. Item frame. Nether star. Cobblestone. Cobble, cherry, moss, item frame, mossy, item frame, moss, crafting, cobblestone. Dirt path. Birch planks. Shulker box. Birch planks. Cobblestone. Crafting table, cherry, enchanting, birch planks. Decorated pot. Magenta, spruce, magenta, spruce, oak sign, stone, spruce, cake. Cake. Stone, spruce, blast furnace. Enchanting, chest, birch barrel, birch cobbles, shulk, dirt path, grass block. Grass block. White tulip, strip, spruce, oak slab. Oak stair, oak leaf, oak leaves, oak leaf, spruce, oak leaf, flower, oak leaf, flowering, oak stair, oak leaf, oak leaves. Oak stairs. Grass block. Lilac. Vines. Short, lilac. Dirt path. Short, grass block. Grass block. Short, grass block. Dirt path. Birch, grass block. Dirt path. Shulker, barrel. Stripped birch log. Grass block. Grass block. Dirt path. Grass block. Grass, lilac, dirt path. Grass block. Dirt path. Grass block. Dirt path. Dirt path. Grass block. Dirt path. Blast furnace. Cake, spruce planks. Stone cutter. Glass pane. Stripped pale oak log, warp, stripped pale oak log, pale, grass block. Warp, grass block. Grass block. Cobbled deep slate. Stripped pale oak log. Cobbled deep slate. Grass block. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Grass block. Cobbled deep slate. cobbled deep slate, 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 grass block, grass, cobbled deep slate, 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 warp slab, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, warp slab, warp stairs, cobbled deep slate, chiseled cobbled deep slate tile, cobbled deep slate, deep slate brick, deep slate, deep slate bricks, deep slate, deep slate, cobbled, chiseled, deep slate, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate tiles. Deep slate, deep slate, cobbled deep slate tiles, cobbled deep slate, deep slate, chiseled deep slate, cobbled deep slate tile, grass block, cobbled deep slate, chiseled deep slate, chiseled deep slate, chiseled deep slate, deep slate, deep slate bricks, grass block, deep grass block, deep slate tiles, deep slate, chiseled, deep slate brick, deep slate, deep slate, deep slate, chiseled, deep slate, grass block, deep slate tiles, grass block, deep slate, deep slate, deep grass, deep slate, deep slate, deep slate, grass, deep slate, dirt, deep slate, strip, deep slate, deep slate bricks, deep slate, deep slate, cobbled deep slate, deep slate tiles. Cobbled, chiseled deep slate, chiseled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep, chiseled, cobbled, chiseled deep, cobbled, chiseled, cobbled deep slate, chiseled, cobbled deep slate brick, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate tile, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, chiseled, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, chiseled, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate bricks. Deep slate, cobbled, chiseled deep, cobbled deep slate bricks. Cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, cobbled, chiseled, cobbled deep, chiseled, cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate tiles. Grass block. Deep slate tile, cobbled deep slate tile, cobbled chiseled cobbled deep slate, cobbled warp slab. Glass chest, spruce, grinds, stone cutter. Warp slab. Warp stair, cobbled deep slate, chiseled deep slate, cobbled deep slate brick, cobbled deep slate, cobbled chiseled deep slate. Cobbled chiseled chiseled cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep chiseled cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate warps, cobbled deep slate. Chiseled cobbled deep slate tile, chiseled cobbled deep slate, 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 cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate, warp stairs. Cobbled deep slate. Deep slate tiles, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Deep slate, cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. Deep slate tiles, chiseled cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, cobbled cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, chiseled cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, chiseled cobbled deep slate, 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 cobbled deep slate bricks, cobbled deep slate, chiseled deep slate. Grass block. Grass, short grass. Orange, calcite. Orange bed. Calcite. Short grass. Cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate tiles. Deep slate tile, cobbled, chiseled, cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate, grass, polished, chiseled, cobbled, polished, chiseled, deep slate, polished, deep, cobbled, polished, polished, cobbled, warped, polished, deep slate, polished, deep slate wall. polished deep slate wall, cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate, grass block, cobbled, polished deep, polished deep slate, cobbled, chiseled, polished deep slate, chiseled deep slate bricks. Cobbled deep slate bricks. Grass block. Tall grass. Trip wire hook, magenta, spruce, magenta, spruce, crafting, stone cutter. Glass pane. Tall grass, cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate bricks, cobbled deep slate, warps, cobbled deep slate bricks. Warp slab. Polished, cobbled, deep slate, warped, polished, deep slate, chiseled deep slate. Cobbled, deep slate, polished deep slate, polished deep slate, polished deep slate, polished deep slate wall. Cobbled deep slate, chiseled, chiseled, cobbled, chiseled, deep slate, polished cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate. Deep slate bricks, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, cobbled deep slate brick, cobbled deep slate, polished deep slate, cobbled deep slate. Short grass. Warp door. Warp door, grass block, pale, grass, cobbled deep slate. Grass block. Cobbled deep slate. Grass block. 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 Short grass. Dirt. Grass block. Grass block. Short grass block. Grass block. Grass block. Grass block. Grass block. Grass block. Short zombie. Red grass block. Dirt. Grass. Short grass. Grass block. Grass block. Pale oak planks. Grass. Pale oak. Grass block. Cobbled deep slate. Grass block. Cobbled deep. Grass block. Stone. Dirt. Grass block. Short grass block. 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 Stone. Grass block. Grass block. Dirt. Grass block. Grass block. Grass block. Dirt. Grass block. Grass block. Short grass block. Grass. Dirt. Stone. Grass. Stone. Grass. Stone. Grass block. Stone. Grass block. Stone. Grass block. Grass block. Grass. Short. Dirt. Pale. Grass block. Grass block. Grass block. Dirt. stone, grass block, stone, stone, grass block, coal ore, grass block, dirt, grass block, stone, dirt, grass block, dirt, grass block, grass block, grass, coal ore, dirt, stone, dirt, stone, cocoa beans, stone, dirt, grass block, dirt, dirt, ender pearl, dirt, short, dirt, stone, dirt, pale oak planks, warp door, grass block, spruce planks, stone cutter, grass block, calcite, oak log, spruce, cobble, oak log, cobble, mossy, cobbles, fern, iron, spruce, oak log, spruce, grass block, grass block, white, birch planks, stone cutter, barrel, shulker box, chest, chest, barrel, lant, birch, shulk, grass, dirt path, grass block, pale oak, warp trapdoor, warp door, strip pale oak log, strip pale oak, grass, warp door, strip pale oak, warp door, warp trapdoor, strip pale oak log, fern, oak, jungle, vines, vines, jungle leaves, jungle leaves, oak leaves, grass block, stone, stone, grass, stone, 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 andesite, stone, stone, dirt, stone, granite, stone, granite, stone, deep slate, stone, deep slate, deep slate, deep slate, deep slate, deep slate iron, deep slate, andesite, deep slate, gravel, deep slate, andesite, deep slate, stone, deep slate, raw iron, deep slate, deep slate, cobbled deep slate, andesite, deep slate, deep slate, cobbled deep slate, warp door, grass block, pale, warp door, decorated pot, trip, spruce trapdoor, magenta, spruce chest, grind, stone cutter, warp trapdoor, warp, strip, pale oak log, dirt, deep slate tile, dirt, grass, deep slate tiles, strip, pale oak, grass block, grass block, deep slate, short grass, stone, dirt, deep slate tiles, stone, red heart, dirt, spider, spider, stone, zombie, red heart, stone, dirt, red heart, zombie, stone, dirt, deep slate tiles, deep slate, dirt, stone, deep slate tiles, rotten deep slate tiles, dirt, deep slate tile, stone, deep slate, 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 stone, deep slate tile, stone, deep slate tile, stone, deep slate, stone, deep slate tiles, deep slate tile, stone, deep slate, stone, deep slate tiles, stone, deep slate tiles, deep slate tile, stone, deep slate tiles, stone, red heart, dirt, red heart, zombie, dirt, arrow, string, stone, deep slate tile, stone, stone cutter, spruce planks, stone cutter, glass pane, dirt, stone, deep slate tiles, dirt, stone, deep slate tiles, dirt, deep slate tile, deep slate tiles, spider, pale oak, deep slate tiles, dirt, grass block, deep slate tiles, dirt, deep slate tile, deep slate, deep slate, deep slate, deep slate, deep slate tiles, dirt, deep slate tiles, grass, deep slate tiles, deep slate tiles, short grass, deep slate tiles, dirt, deep slate tiles. Pale oak plank, deep slate tiles. Stone cutter. Deep slate tiles. Dirt, deep slate tile, dirt, deep slate tiles. Grass block. Deep slate tile, dirt, deep slate tiles. Dirt. Short grass. Deep slate tile, grass, dirt, deep slate, dirt, deep slate tiles, dirt, deep slate tiles, dirt, deep slate tiles, dirt, deep slate tile, dirt, deep slate tile, dirt, deep slate tiles, dirt, dirt, deep slate tiles. Grass block, short, deep slate, dirt, deep slate tile, dirt, deep slate tiles. Dirt, deep slate tile, dirt, deep slate tiles. Dirt, deep slate tiles. Deep slate tiles, dirt, deep slate tiles. Grass block. Short, stone, dirt, short grass. Grass block. Stone. Stone. Short, stone, grass, stone. Deep slate tiles. Dirt. 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 Deep slate tiles. Deep slate tiles. Deep slate tiles. Short grass. Deep slate tiles. Stonecutter. Deep slate tiles. Deep slate tiles. Deep slate tiles. Cobbled deep slate. Stripped pale oak planks. Deep slate tiles. Deep slate tile. Pale oak deep slate tiles. Stonecutter. Spruce planks. Stonecutter. Glowstone dust. Strip warp door. Grass block. Grass block. Short grass. Short grass. Short grass. Short grass block.